We are finally reaching the top of the superstructure for this model. All that is left are the Mark 38 main battery directors. The forward director sits on top of a rather simple base that is just constructed out of plastic components, while the aft director sits on top of a similar base. It's a little bit larger, and there are some photo etch components that need to be added to it for the viewing slits. Other than that, there is some photo etch that will be installed on the Mark 38 directors themselves to improve their level of detail. Starting with the bases. Of the two bases, the forward base is by far the simpler one. It just has two simple pieces of plastic, while the aft base comes in three pieces with the molded viewing slits that need to be removed. After cleaning up the edges of the components with some light filing, I place the parts in contact with each other and glue them together using extra thin plastic cement. Once the components are firmly bonded together, I use files and sandpaper to remove the molded viewing slits and various seam lines that are still present on the parts. After that, any gaps that are still visible are filled with plastic putty, and once the plastic putty has dried, the putty is removed with sandpaper. Before I move on to the Mark 38 directors themselves, I want to finish off these bases, well, really only the aft base. It just needs to have its photo etch viewing slits installed where the molded plastic ones were removed. As far as photo etch portholes / viewing slits go, these ones are quite nice. That's because they're quite big, and because its wriggle or water deflector for rain folds out and becomes quite a useful handle to hold it by. As part of the preparation before installing these viewing slits, I removed them all from their fret and folded their wriggle up into position. I then wrapped a piece of masking tape around the superstructure just to provide a line for me to follow to ensure that I get all of the viewing slits at the same height. Long-time viewers of the channel might notice that there is a new tool that I have recently purchased. This is a very small vise. It took me a very long time to realize that trying to hold the component in my hand while trying to place a small piece of photo etch on it, while trying to keep it in frame and in focus, was probably too much to be trying to do all at once, and that if I simply bought a miniature vise, I'd be able to hold the component in frame, in focus, not have to worry about it moving, and free up a hand. It has taken me an embarrassingly long time to realize that. I guess I'm a slow learner. I suspect you'll be seeing a lot more of this vise in the future. Anyway, with the component clamped in the vise, I place the wriggles on the component and take all the time that I need to correctly position them. Once the viewing slits are in the correct position, I use another new tool to clamp them in place. This tool is technically being repurposed. I'm not using it for what it's really meant for. This is a hand stabilizer, but I don't really understand how it stabilizes your hand. I also, fortunately, at this point, don't really need it. But when I did see it, I saw this application for it, which I think for me is a lot more useful. If you've worked with very small pieces of photo etch before, you'll know that when you apply the super glue to them, they tend to move. So you need something to hold them in place very lightly. I figured that now that I'd bought the vise, I could use something like these hand stabilizers if I strapped a toothpick to the edge of it to clamp very lightly those pieces of photo etch in place. And as you can see, it works very well. It's very easy to position the toothpick on these small pieces of photo etch, and it holds it with just enough pressure to prevent it from moving while I'm applying the super glue. And also, since this clamping end is just a toothpick, if I do get some glue on it, I can easily replace it with another toothpick. This whole experience was quite difficult for me. Normally when installing photo etch like this, I feel like I need 3 or 4 hands. In this case, I had a hand free the whole time. It made this substantially easier. After repeating the process for the other two sides, all the wriggles are installed, and I am very happy with the outcome. There is just a little bit of super glue around the wriggles that needs to be removed, so I sand that off using 400 grit sandpaper. Moving on to the Mark 38 directors themselves. After clipping them off their sprues, some light cleanup is required with a file. Some of the plastic details on these directors will be replaced with photo etch, so they also need to be removed. The first of the photo etch to install go on the arms. These I'm going to start with simply because it's very clear where they need to be placed. They sit in a recess in the plastic, so they are basically going to clip into place and align with the edge of the component. They do have a very small handrail. I don't really think it's a handrail. I don't know what it is. It's far too short to be a handrail, but it's a rail of some sort that needs to be folded up into position. And then a very small detail needs to wrap around to the front side of the gun director. Those parts I'm not going to fold for now. I'm just going to fold down the end tab so that I can correctly align it with the edge of the component. To install this photo etch, I will simply apply a small drop of medium viscosity superglue to the top of the gun director and then place the photo etch component on top of the glue. As I said, it's very clear where this photo etch goes, so it's quite easy to get it into the correct position first time round. This same process is simply repeated for all of these pieces of photo etch. Next up are the near diamond shaped components that go in the center of the gun director. The installation of these components is similar to the edge components, however it is a little bit more difficult to align it since there is no edge that allows you to make it clip into the correct location. You do have to position it by eye and feel. Since it is more difficult to position it, I thought the better way to install this component was to position it first without glue and then apply extra thin super glue to the edge of the component and let capillary action draw it underneath. This way I can take all the time that I need to correctly position the photo etch before bonding it in place. Once these first 3 pieces of photo etch are installed on each of the gun directors, I'll fold up the hand ratings before moving on to the last piece of photo etch that I need to install on them. At least for now, there is more photo etch, the actual radar component that needs to be installed, but that detail, because of its delicate nature, I'm not going to install now. Also, I need to paint the deck in a different color to the actual gun director, so it'll make painting easier if I don't install that now. And if you recall, everything that I'm doing now is still in preparation for painting the superstructure. It has been a very long time, but just keep that in mind. I'm only preparing these components so that they're ready for the first round of painting. There's still going to be subsequent rounds of painting and installation that needs to be done. Before I install that last piece of photo etch on these gun directors, I'm going to spray it with surfacer. Not the whole thing, just the plastic sides where the plastic meets the photo etch. I'm doing this because it's very difficult to see dried superglue without covering it with paint or surfacer. The surfacer is just going to reveal any excess superglue that is on the side or gaps between the metal and the plastic. Normally, I would only do this process after fully constructing the component. But in this case, because the next piece of photo etch that I'm going to install will make it very difficult to access and clean up these areas, I'm going to do it now in this limited area. While I do have surfacer loaded up in the airbrush, I thought I might as well also just spray the bases, so I quickly do that, also just to help reveal any defects that may be present on those components. Fortunately, everything looked good. There was a little bit of touch-up that I did do on the bases, but other than that I was happy with it. So I can move on to that last piece of photo etch. As you can see, this is a far more elaborate piece of photo etch that kind of wraps around the aft of the gun director, and it also has a handrail that needs to be folded up into position. Once again, using this useful little vise, I clamp the Mark 38 gun director in position to free up a hand. After folding down the support struts on the piece of photo etch, I carefully position it over the Mark 38 director. Once I'm happy with the position of the photo etch, I hold it down and carefully apply extra thin superglue to the edge of the component. Capillary action pulls the superglue underneath the component and bonds it in place. As you can see, the buzz here is already helping me. For me to be able to do this, in the past, I would have needed a third hand. This is substantially easier. Once happy that the photo etch is securely bonded in place, I fold up the handrail using tweezers. This is done quite easily. There are score lines in this photo etch handrailing, which does make it quite easy to fold with tweezers. Once the handrail is aligned with the platform, I hold it in place with my finger and then apply extra thin superglue to the edge to bond the handrail in place. To help the superglue set more quickly, I apply superglue accelerator, causing the superglue to instantly set. A little bit more massaging of the handrail is then required with tweezers to get it into a good shape. The exact same process is then repeated for the other gun director. Although I had previously sprayed the sides of these components with surfacer to check for gaps and defects between the photo etch and the plastic, I now want to spray the entire component with surfacer. Before I do that, because this is a fairly large piece of metal, I'm going to apply metal primer. After the metal primer, I apply Mr. Surfacer 1000 to the entire component to check for defects. I don't find any defects, so I'm happy with these components. In the next video, I will stay with the theme of gun directors, although now moving much further down the superstructure. I will construct the secondary gun directors and prepare them for painting. If you don't want to wait for the scheduled release of videos and want to watch them when they are uploaded, consider becoming a channel member by clicking the join button below. If you would like to support the channel, like and subscribe, and as always, questions are welcome in the comments. Thank you for watching. Cheers.